Carol Ann Ford. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you when I tell you that every time they showed her, I fangasmed so hard. I didn't even have time to appreciate the WALL-E reference when the Doctor rode on the confetti cannon. I'm not even sure I know how to put into words what I feel about Susan actually being back on the show. I know for a lot of you, it's like whatever. Some old comes back on the show that I didn't even watch back then, so who cares? But I stand very firm on how amazing every member of the very first TARDIS team is. I'm sure I'll get to Ian and Barbara at some point, and I know that the show does not work without them, but Susan's inclusion into that TARDIS team is very important. I know she sucked most of the time, and even left the show because all she ever did was scream or get kidnapped, but the character is crazy important. Because the first Doctor wasn't accessible like he or she is now. I challenge you not to love Matt Smith in his first episode. But not Hartnell. Hartnell wasn't the hero. He wasn't super nice. He kidnapped some teachers and he came close to killing a caveman in cold blood. How are we supposed to root for this guy? Well, we did because of the young girl. There haven't been many on this show that have been able to call the Doctor something other than the Doctor. But Susan called him grandfather. Susan is the only one to be able to call the Doctor something that made you want to like him and made him vulnerable. And when she would wrap her arms around him and smile in that familial way, it made you trust him more. And I firmly believe that if Susan wasn't included in this show from the beginning, then it does not succeed. And yes, she's the first companion to leave the TARDIS, not by her choice. And when the Doctor leaves her to have her own life, it was an emotional moment that carried with it a promise that has never been revisited, at least in canon anyway. And she's the last living member of that first episode, and Carol Ann Ford is in her 80s. I know they could have just recast her because of Time Lord, but that would have just been a slap in the face, and she's been pretty vocal about how she's been wanting to come back. So I was really fucking happy to see her, and I hope we get to see more of her, and we can finally close the book on Susan. Or it all up, one or the other.